My name is Adrian, and I help people to take back control of their lives using time management, mentoring, and coaching. And I think it's something that a lot of people seem to be needing at this point in time, because we're so inundated by work. There's so much stress that we are always expected, like by our clients, to reply within the hour, if not within the minute, if not yesterday. We're always expected by superiors to do what they want. So we have all this world like expecting us so much from it. But one of the things I realized to this journey is, if I had to do all the things whenever and wherever they asked of me, I couldn't deliver a good service. I would be either tired, ended up sick many times. And this is not a way to live, and this doesn't work. So this didn't even work for the customers themselves, because the customer and my superior and whoever is I'm actually working with wants me in the best of shapes, so that when I'm giving the work, I'm giving the most quality and even the quantity that is required. So today I think because of so much demand of our time, and time is always 24 hours, right? It doesn't grow, and most of the time, sometimes we spend it on sleeping, and then we have time for ourselves. But we're creating this idea that exhaustion is not optional. Exhaustion is optional. Stress is optional. It's just we have never been taught the tools of how do I organize myself, how do I organize my time, how do I build myself up in a way that I can manage what I have in front of me and I can do great work. Because when I'm doing work, I'm not thinking of 10 million things that I have to do. I'm just focusing there on the work and giving all the attention that work needs. Now, one of the things I started noticing is that yes, I was managing my work, but not always managing my life. And so I said, okay, I've a master's in business administration, which is like about management. I'm in management. I'm training people in management at master's levels, like in the University of Malta, University of Chester, and Global College. And I'm not really managing my life. And this is what it struck me. How can I manage something if I can't manage myself? And the first point of reference is time, because time touches everything. So what really happened to me is, it really started off when there was a particular week where I took it off because I couldn't stand what was happening to me. I had changed the job 6 months before. My life had come crashing down in that month. And I entered a new job, not always necessarily knowing and really competent or knowing exactly what I needed to do, whereas I wasn't organized myself. So it really felt too much, with so much clients, so much work, my boss and the emails and the messages, and I was actually into marketing, so it was really too much, and even my personal stuff. And that week it was really, I wanted to just be alone. I really wanted to just cry. I really wanted to, it was really too much. And I was doing a lot, so I wasn't like lazy or something. I was doing a lot, but it was like the more I did, the more a mess life seemed to be actually going to. Worst come was, that week I actually received a message to do a meeting on my performance, because it seemed my superiors were saying, look, your performance is not up to par. So even in that week of wanting to be alone, I kind of received a news that might actually end up losing my job. Fortunately, my superiors, rather than acting as a boss, they acted more as a mentors, and they actually took the time to listen to me. They took the time to get to understand my situation. And in fact, one of them said, okay, you seem to be needing guidance in terms of how you organize yourself. Because you can't always do what the customer is doing. You can't do always what everybody else is doing. Otherwise, how are you going to do your job? So I said, okay, let's sit down. once every week and see what goes on. And imagine that I went the first week like kind of almost like a tortoise, scared a bit of what's going to happen in this. And after a couple of questions, one of my superiors said, okay, let's start scheduling your work. And said, my head already saying, and if I read a lot of books on time management, I tried scheduling, it didn't work. But kind of I felt I didn't have any option because my superior was telling me. And so I had the calendar, I started scheduling. Worse was that he was seeing my calendar, so I was like kind of feeling spied on kind of thing. And then it's like this went on a couple of weeks, and then it's like I realized, like it just like came to me and said, okay, I've been scheduling over the last 3 weeks, and if I look back, I've done like 6 to 7 out of 10 of what I had planned. So if I planned and actually did, that's actually a bit of control, right? I was dictating what I wanted to do in life. I wasn't just on a like roller coaster that ended up wherever life wanted it. I was giving direction. And I said, could this actually work with all of my work? What if I gave direction to what happened then during the work? And then what I did, I started to limit a bit the emails, when to answer the emails. I started scheduling more. I started scheduling what's important and urgent, rather than just everything that came to mind. And I started to prioritize. And lo and behold, suddenly work became even a more meaningful experience. I started to be more confident in myself, my self-esteem rose, and even my superiors kind of saw this change, and they kept on helping me. Even the sales figure started moving up. So it really, just these small changes, right, helped me so much. Obviously, I have someone also who's guiding me and helped me a lot. And then I asked, okay, my work is really going well. I'm really feeling confident and competent and eager to continue. What about if I do the same process into my life? And obviously, when it came to my life, there were other issues like relationships, money, and my health, my career. But the same things actually worked. Because time management forced me to ask, what do I want in my life? What is a priority in my life? Where do I want to go? How do I organize myself? And slowly, I started to get into a position where even my life started to become organized. So, and this journey kind of, in the meantime, I actually got married and eventually even started doing more things that I enjoy. And then my wife saw this change and said, can you please help me? Because I have clients, but it's like really overwhelming to manage it all, and I don't have a way to actually go about it. Can you please help? And so I sat down, I asked questions like I would to a friend. Actually, like I was talking to my wife in a sense. So I was a bit safe in asking certain questions, and she was safe with me. And slowly, like in a couple of months, she really started feeling more in control. She organized herself better, started becoming even aware of her money, aware of her time. She was able to say no to clients who were taking so much energy from them and not giving enough money, like expecting a lot when giving very little, and started focusing on what she really enjoyed, and that also contributed to her finances. She had a system that she could trust. And so what actually started to happen is that the productivity increased drastically, like by 50%. Her stress started to reduce, like by some 40%. And she was not acting out of anxiety, because this is what happens when you don't have a system in place. You act out of anxiety, and every day you bring in that anxiety because your mind doesn't let you to stay calm. It just keeps bringing up stuff that are important to deal with. And without a system in place, that becomes you have to act on these things and rush where the mind tells you rather than where you want to go. And seeing this journey, seeing that I took my experience, translated into my knowledge and used the training, she started to really improve her life. And said, okay, could this be of use to other people? And she's kind of started realizing that a lot of people are struggling with their time. And although I had gone through this journey, one of the interesting things is I never saw it as a service I could give. It was just, I saw it as part of my experience, right? And somebody said, why don't you give it to somebody else? And I started doing a workshop, which went really well. I started helping people, and this journey, which I kind of took like 4 to 5 years, some people were doing it in months, some people were doing it in weeks, and it was really good to see. So this process, right? So first of all, what it took me is that time management does work, but it works when it's not just a to-do list. No, it's not just a calendar system. Time management works where you're seeing life and you're managing life and where you're putting your energies, what you're doing, what you're prioritizing, how you're organizing your life. In a sense, time management is management of yourself. And by taking that attitude, I started to improve the results of my life as well in that process. So what I find to also kind of help you in this, apart from the basics, what also helped me was that in the morning, I start the day focusing on me, right? First 10 minutes of the day, I spend it for myself, either just being quiet on my own, having a cup of tea, or sometimes I would prefer a meditation. And this really helped me. It's like building a muscle, right? Because I see time management like a fitness exercise, right? If you want your body to be in shape, you're focusing on your food, you're focusing on the exercise, right? Just sometimes I use this analogy. If you want to run a marathon and you've never managed to run a block, okay? You can't expect yourself to run a marathon. You have to start running around a block, and then maybe 2 blocks and 3 blocks. And that, if you try to push yourself into a marathon, you might actually get hurt in your body. Likewise, time management is a bit like that. You can't expect yourself to manage it all, which is like a marathon, in just like this. You have to start building your muscle. And the biggest way to build your muscle, because you were trying to build the muscle of the mind, right, is to start the day focusing on yourself and making the first 10 minutes of the day for you. If you need, wake 10 minutes before. And I mean, if you don't have 10 minutes in your life, then probably you don't have a life. It's a quote I read from Tony Robbins, and it's really struck me, because yes, if I don't have 10 minutes in my life, I really need to see what's happening, why this is happening. So first 10 minutes I devoted to myself. And this changed the pace of the day. Instead of rushing in the day like a car or truck, like in Formula 1 or something, right? I was setting the pace. And this worked so well that in fact I started doing it for the week. Beginning of the week, I would spend, I call it the week planner. I would organize the coming week, like schedule it. I would see the previous week and say what happened and what didn't. I would organize my money as well. And weekend, this kind of set the pace of the week. I trained my mind, in a sense, to slowly build muscle of my life in this journey. And these are things you can take home, you can start using, right? If you are really great at taking these principles and applying in the life, that's great, okay? I'm really glad that they would be of benefit to you. Now, the thing is, what I've seen happening is when I do something on my own, so I am learning something new. I love learning things on my own when I want to take long to do them. Now, why would I want to take long to do something? The reason I would want to take long to do something is to fail a lot of the times. And the reason for it is because by failing a lot, I learn a lot, and then I can help others. So for me, time management, in a sense, although I had help in the beginning, and I still get help from different people on how to go about certain things, I still kind of grow it. It's something I do every day. I'm passionate about, I'm learning, and through that I'm able to help people. But most people are not there to actually help others in time management. What they want is to have their life organized. They want control in their life. So if in that case, if you want to really take control, yes, you can read the books, they help. Some good books I found was Time Warrior by Steve Chandler, Eat That Frog, Brian Tracy, Maximum Achievement, Brian Tracy, Getting Things Done, David Allen. These are really good books on time management. But then what I suggest is get help in terms of we learn the most when somebody's actually guiding us, especially if that someone has gone through the process. And I'm not saying just get help from me. You might want to look at therapists. There are some good therapists on the island where they're actually helping you figure it out and see what's causing this, right? And they're also very great in relationships. Some people are very good with spirituality as well, if that's something of interest to you. Where I come in is I would put myself, I'm like a bit of a specialist in time management because all my life is revolves around management, time management. I'm passionate about it. I also study life in a sense and study management. I teach them as well. So this is kind of, I would like consider myself, there are people who are like the doctors, right? You go to a doctor, to a GP, for most of your maladies and ailments in your body, but then you might want to go to a specialist if you're focusing on your eyes or on your mouth or on your feet or in your part of the body. And since this is time management is part of life, right? It's not, I wouldn't say if you do this, everything will improve, or this is the only way to go about it. This is a way of actually improving the quality of life. There are some really good ways even on the island. But I can kind of specialize in this area. So I can be a bit of a specialist as well in helping people out. So if you want to really see change, you can either use this video to apply some of the principles and see where it's working or not. You might want to get help. And if you need my assistance, I would definitely love to help and see how I can work out. Near this video there is a button where you can actually contact me and ask for the service. Practically what we do is we'll call you up, we'll see whether this is for you, because time management coaching and mentoring is not for everyone. By not for everyone, I mean that some people need to either sometimes learn certain basics, or they might have certain issues that first need to be resolved before coming into time management. So we see if this is something, if we can meet, right? Some people just don't click as well, or might find my approach not what they want. So it's something to find a best fit for ourselves. Now, to help you in this, I would like to propose an offer. On the website, this service is usually 40 euros on the hour. Usually I work on the internet, and the reason I do work on the internet is because although we feel that face-to-face is better, but to organize a face-to-face, it takes so much time and energy for everyone that you have to go to a place, come to a session, you might get stuck into traffic, you might and if you're stuck into traffic, you might kind of get angry. And then if you have a bad day, you're coming directly from work with all that energy. And then it's really hard to work kind of face to face because there's so much stuff. So when you're at home, at least you have like maybe the chance to calm down, to put on your comfy clothes. And so in a sense, online, what the advantage I find in working with this is it saves a lot of time and energy for everyone, for me and you. It really puts you in a space where now you're going to work on your life. It feels like it's life. Obviously I can come at work and can actually do the same at work, but then we'll be talking about something completely different. Now for the price I said is 40 euros, but for this I would like to offer it at 30 euros per session. Usually I propose this as a package of 6. So we do 6 weeks of 1 hour coaching. And so that, if you had to put it at 40 euros, that's 240 euros for like 1.5 months. But for this specifically, I would be able to give it to you for 30. So you save 10 euros every session, which is around 180, like some 30% discount on this. But this will apply till I will usually put like 4 weeks deadline on this, okay? And then I will apply the normal rate. So if you're interested in working on yourself and in investing in yourself, act now, okay? Life has 700,000 hours on average, okay? Different people have different lives. Almost a third of that, right, we spend on sleeping. Then most of a lot of people spend it on work. So if you're not enjoying the work today, if you're not, if you're feeling really anxious, then life becomes really complicated. And I like what Steve Jobs has said in one of his videos. He said, it's like one of his ways to actually see if his life is working. He said, if I had to die tomorrow, would today be a great day to live? Would I? And this is what time management has been for me, discovering how can I live the best of my life today, not tomorrow, not the week next, okay, not the week after. Yes, there are days that are difficult, some days are heavy, sometimes things go wrong, right? But what I'm saying is that overall you feel in control, grounded, serene, happy, at peace, okay? Ready to help others rather than just lost with what you need. And this is what time management can do today, okay? So if you're leaving it, because I'll try next week or I'll try next month, I have a bad month. Usually a bad week turns up into a bad month turns into a bad year, right? Start today. That's what actually time management is. Work on today. So if you're not going to leave it, if you're going to, if you really feel that this is for you, if you really feel that what I can bring to the table will help you, then don't wait till tomorrow. Just do it now, okay? Worst come worst, you just have a 15-minute call, you say, no, this doesn't work for me, okay? But if you don't do it today, you might miss out on a very unique opportunity to really start being the best version of yourself. And this is what this is really about. Thank you, I appreciate for your time. And if I see you, that's great. If not, thank you just the same. It was great to spend this time together. And I wish you all the best in your life. Thank you.